Oof, I say a lot. Now make me sound professional as Hi team, I'm Sunny, delighted to share. That took like 3 minutes.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got shape video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or you can create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file and set it as a shape mask. Nice. Next up, we'll keep it moving with the hover box. You can use it to animate any element and create these really eye-catching interactions. And what I love is that the level of control you get here is crazy precise. You can set your animation ease, scale size, and position to create this really dope effect. Third, we've got the mega menu. This not only lets you organize your site menu into different subcategories, but it also looks amazing when you add in different elements like text, buttons, images, and pretty much anything you can think of. And last but not least, we've got My Designs. This feature lets you save any section or component that you've already created, and you can use it as a starting point on any other pages or sites you're working on. This one's personally saved me a ton of time. So you got all these features. Now see what you can do with them. Get on over to Wix and create something dope.
Hello. Oh, sorry. God, can't believe I extended the intro for a little bit longer than I remember or would have liked. Sorry about that. Uh, honestly, I got distracted. That's my beat. Honestly, my bad. My bad. My bad. Shit. Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. So we're back. Welcome back. We are 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 back. Let's see. I see some videos here on the sidebar of my sort of intro thing that look very interesting. 2D facial rigs, 2D facial rigs just got 10 times easier in Blender. Blender speed modeling, tower, grease, pencil, hatching. Interesting. But yeah. Oh yeah, we are back. Welcome back. Um, let's do our little recap that we do every start of the stream. It allows me to spill my mind and just sort of get an idea of what's going on today. All right, so today so as you can see on screen is the pangolin. Pangolin. I don't know how to say pangolin. I don't know. I don't know how that's said. I should probably look it up. But anyway, here we have the pangolin. Pangolin. Um, and if I have to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing. It sounds bad when I say it, but I'm not exactly sure what to do now. Obviously, there's probably like a lot more detail that I could add. I did talk about yesterday how I could sort of redo the topology to allow maybe adding a bit more detail onto the joints to allow them to bend better looking. But honestly, I'm not even sure what we're doing in terms of the sort of direction art. I don't know why I want to say art direction, like as if like, ooh, look at me, art direction, or we're doing art, but like I have no clue how we want it to look, or what we're going for exactly. The programmers are programming. The artists are arting. We have sound designer, I think, as well. Is sound designing. So yeah, I I kind of sent a message to the other artists on the team, being like, "This is what I got. I don't know what else to do. Please help." But not like that. But like, can you suggest something for me to do? Because I mean, this is my first time doing this. Uh, I've never made models for anyone, and this is for a game, so this is like, whoa, big step. Hopefully, I'm doing a good job. I mean, we're still pretty. I want to say we're still pretty early on, but we're like almost a week into the month. Damn, that hits you hard, huh? Jesus Christ. I don't feel like I've done a lot of work for a week, if I'm being quite honest. But we'll see. Oh man, I don't know. I guess we do kind of need a game first before we could start working too hard on the art. Um, but then again, I don't know how this works, so um, the fuck is this? Hmm. Oh, sorry, I was looking at something. All right, so yeah, that's basically where I am now in my headspace. On this, I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be working on, what I can do. I'm sure there's something else I can do. Um, is that isn't just the pangolin. Um, some other bits and bobs from the game, but at the moment I have no clue. Let me check real quick. We have a Trello board to sort of, I guess, put our ideas to paper. But at the moment we don't really have anything there. We do have things, but obviously, I mean, like we don't have anything new. All right then. I was also looking up art styles of 3D games, seeing what I can look at, see what I can find. But yeah. Oh, sick. That's basically where I am right now in terms of the game jam. Not much to do, not much to say. Mm. Um, so yeah, I didn't really know what to do when I first started, if I'm being quite honest. Um, I think what I'm gonna do is there's a few other videos that delve into some other shading tricks. I might experiment with those for a little bit. And since I can't really think of anything else to do right now, um I might go back to working on Regulus afterwards. And Regulus was also in an interesting position since I was blocking out her body, um, which I didn't finish. I think we were at the point where we block out the hands, and the hands are a little difficult because the reference, I believe, it doesn't show the hands perfectly. So I'm gonna have to probably improvise a little bit there. But yeah, I was still following that video. We're still in the middle of it, blocking out the hands. I did realize that, and then it's two-parter. So after I'm done blocking out, I will have to watch the next video that will go over probably messing around with some sculpt tools that allow the little cubes that I've been making to mesh together, and then we could sculpt it to make it look better. The way that I found and the way that I've been doing things, or I mean, I guess more found than doing, I've done it once. I think it's very beneficial, at least for me, to to make a very basic body. Uh, the parts that aren't going to be shown, I don't really need to put that much detail. But the reason why I like to make a basic body is because when I rig it, I can rig the body to the bones, and then I can just make the clothing on top of the body, and then um, weight transfer the weights from the body onto the clothes. I feel like that makes it work better, I think, and it makes it a lot easier. I've tried doing it the other way, where I make the clothes and not the body. Uh, and I feel like when it comes to weight painting, it kind of gets a little complicated, I think. I mean, even in the last one I did, where I did the body first and then the clothing, the weight painting wasn't the best. I don't spend a lot of time with weight painting. Uh, I'm sure if I wanted to make like an actual character, but I mean, you only need to weight paint enough so that like the range of motion that it does have looks good. You don't have to like go extreme. Like not every single it doesn't have to look good in every single position because you could always edit it yourself if especially if you're um like not making it for a game, but instead you're making like an animation or a render or something. Um you have a lot more control in that aspect. But yeah, like I was saying, I make the body first. The parts that aren't going to be seen, I could make very basic. And then once I make the clothing on top and weight transfer, I could delete the body underneath. Because I've tried making the body and then the clothes on top and then leaving it, but then there's problems with the body clipping through the clothing, and that just looks messy. Um, so yeah, you could just delete it afterwards, and then you have a you have clothing that is fully rigged, and yeah, and I believe Regulus is wait what? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I just got a message. I believe Regulus is pretty. Let me see. I need to find a picture of her. I think I had one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. I could always hop on into my other Blender file that does have a picture of her, but I just want to talk about it real quick. Um, in terms of uh difficulty, um, let's see. The bow might be a difficult thing to rig. It's attached to her neck, so I assume it moves with her neck. But yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Um, I could always edit it so it doesn't collide. I'm afraid if I move it with the neck, if she turns her head, it's gonna go through her body. Another thing is her jacket. Her jacket kind of hangs from her body. I wonder. I mean, I can only see the front view, so I can't see too much detail on it. But I wonder how that'll look. Uh, she has a hat. Hats are pretty simple. If anything, hats are nice because they cover up parts of the hair that I don't want to do. Um, and then yeah, she has boots or something. Also very simple. Although these are quite long. I've never done long shoes, I don't think. I've only done really short shoes, which is really easy because you could just replace the foot with the shoe. Why the fuck is there a line? What the fuck? But these shoes go up and cover the calf. I think it'd work about the same way. I don't have to worry too much about that. And then of course she's wearing a dress, which last time I tried to make a dress. To be fair though, that dress was like kind of stylized to be like sticking out. This dress is a little different. It kind of hangs onto the body a bit more than the last one I've made. I do have a video that goes over rigging. I think it was skirts specifically, but what are skirts but longer dresses? Wait, what? So what are dresses but longer skirts? That's what I meant. So yeah, we'll get there when we get there. We will get there. So yeah, that's still pretty far away. We're still making the body. Alright, 1 second. Let me... You're gonna have to put Bryson. Alright, sorry. I was like, I'm looking through my Google Doc full of tutorials to see which one I should do. Fuzzy. I never wanna dance again. Yaka yaka. Taka taka. The hell? Alright. So I think to start off with, I have here a 10-minute video by Southern Shoddy. And I actually have two videos. One's a 10-minute and the other one's a 4-minute. Very short, actually. I'm surprised. I guess it must be pretty simple, maybe? But anyway, this is a tutorial that I wanted to look at. It's about making a fuzzy fabric sort of shader. I think this would be really cool to learn, especially for if I ever wanted to make a sort of character that is fuzzy, fabricy, kind of shaded. Alright, so yeah. Oh, sick. Okay, sorry. So let me put this on screen so you guys can watch it with me if you want. Or not. Do whatever you want. But yeah. Fuzzy Fabric Tutorial by Southern Shoddy. I think I skimmed through it a little bit, so... but yeah. We're gonna be watching this one, and then we're also gonna be watching why your fabric material looks fake. Because it looks like they play off each other. But I'm watching this one first because it was 2 years ago, and this one's 11 years ago. So I assume this is like an updated version, or like he kind of goes over it a bit more in detail. Sorry. Oh, you know what? Actually, I remember watching it. He links you to a I think you're supposed to get like a texture from this website. Apparently it's free. I don't know. Fuzzy. Damn, okay. Damn, okay. I'll wait to see what he says in the video. Like, let me get my headphones on first. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. True. The fuck? Okay, let's start. Enough said. Let's go. Wait, do I have it on? Oh, no, I don't.
At how to create this fuzzy fabric material in Blender. First up, I'm in the middle of the move. My background is undecorated. There are boxes everywhere. It's messy. I'm sorry, but you're not here to look at my office. You're here to look at the tutorial, so let's dive into that. Now, I've been doing these kind of like fuzzy fabrics on my characters, doing this kind of more handcrafted look, and I've gotten a lot of comments both on Instagram and YouTube asking how I make these fuzzy materials. So today we're going to look at how I do that. And the answer is it's actually pretty simple. There's actually a lot of free image-based fabrics out there. So I will put a link to that in the description below, and I'll be utilizing one of these materials in the tutorial so that you can follow along.
Did you say what? Tutorial? What is that called? Fabric 18? Oh, sick. Okay, we have 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K, 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K. Oh, there's PNGs and JPEGs. Alright. I'm gonna take a 2K. I think this is probably a good website to know, actually. Ambient CG. 2,186 free assets. Go build something, idiot. Pretty nice. I wonder if I could get any ideas from looking at this. Hold on. I always like looking at stuff like this because you could always get some ideas. It's a way to scratch your mind, I guess. Ooh, jeans. Nice. Oh, what the fuck? Leaves? Foliage? Alright, so they're pretty basic. Oh, next page. Oh, shit. Sorry, I thought that said, like, top of page or something. Oh, this is a cool design. I like that. That looks also cool. Ooh, this is a fucking, I don't know, like a padded room. You want to make a padded room? There you go. More foliage. A mountain. What the fuck? Oh, it's carpet. Oh, it chills. Ooh, snow? Yeah. Tree. Nice. It's like what finger? Oh, ground. I thought it was like, you know what I mean? The little ridges you get on your fingers. Wicker, fabric. Snow? Nice. What is 2,000? I'm not gonna scroll through all of them. Ooh. Cool. I won't look too. Ooh, whoa. I won't look too much into them because I don't want to spend like all my time doing this. But oh wow, still pretty cool. But yeah, Ambient CG is the name of this website. Ooh, some soundproofing. Wow. I'm just like going, whoa, look at that. Wow. Pog. Oh, watermelon. Lemon? Bamboo? Okay. I wonder what the watermelon texture looks like. Alright, I think we're done. We'll finish, we'll go all the way down. And, oh, rocks. Alright, we're done. Let's continue.
Now, where the real magic of the fuzzy fabric tutorial comes in is how you input it into the shader settings using Sheen and how you use particle systems. So let's take a look at how I do that. So what we're going to do is first we're going to import our shader. So if you have Node Wrangler add-on enabled, which is free in Blender, this will make this process much easier. So I'm going to open the shader editor here. And
Do I have
here,
Node Wrangler? I think I do. Let me see, hold on. Yeah, I do. Alright. I should probably name these. Hold on, who cares? What's it gonna be? What is this, like, fuzzy? Alright, let's continue. Whoops.
is where I kind of have my cloth material there, and I'm going to grab this principled BSDF. And then with Node Wrangler, you can hit Control Shift T. And what that will do will open up this menu where you can import different options here. So what I'm going to do is come into my fabric folder, which I've downloaded. And what I'm going to do is select color. Then I'm just going to also select the PNG. And then Blender uses OpenGL, so we'll grab the GL one here. I'm going to ignore opacity, we don't need that, and I'm going to grab roughness.
Okay. Oh, so it's zipped up. I also forgot to unzip it, my bad. Hold on, let me find it. Where is it? Oh, I think it might be down. Oh, let me just sort it by date modified. And see which one was modified today. Oh wait, hold on. Let me actually unzip it. JPEG. Alright, let's look at it now. Okay, so what, we get the color? Color, displacement, normal GL, and roughness. Wow. That's crazy.
Now, if you have an import issue, you can sometimes check off relative path here, and that'll prevent it from giving you an import error sometimes. And then we're just going to go ahead and click that there. And you'll see that what it does is it automatically puts all of our maps here into the correct ones. One thing I like to do is in this mapping here, to make things easier to resize, I like to go Shift A, and then I search for a value node. I'm going to put that here, tag that in there, and then what that'll do is make it so we can easily scale. So I'm going to go ahead and try 5, and
Well, let's look at how it looks so far. Okay. Okay, it might look like this because I don't have it unwrapped. So I can't technically use the UVs. I don't know if actually. Sorry. I don't know if you guys see what I'm doing. Hold on one moment. No, you can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, let's continue the video and finish it.
I want this to look like a miniature in my case, so I'm going to have kind of larger than life proportions for mine, but you can do yours as you see fit. And then here by default, whenever you use that Node Wrangler add-on, it's going to do by your UV, which in my case works for the most part. My UVs aren't too bad on this model, but you can also do generated, and that'll try and best guess, which can sometimes cause issues on more complex objects like this. If you're just rendering a still image, you can actually do from camera, and a lot of times that'll be easier. But for me, I'm just going to use UV since I have a good UV there. But anyways, now what we can do is we can begin playing with these settings a bit. So I'm going to switch over to render view so we can see what we're doing here. Now, one thing is that I see a lot of people import these fabric textures and then they're not happy with the way that it looks by default. And that's because by default with the BSDF shader, you get a 0 on your sheen. So sheen is actually a type of roughness specifically made for fabrics because fabrics tend to kind of catch the edge of the light and will have a little bit of sheen or reflection on the edge. So if we go ahead and turn this up to 1, we can see already over here as this is coming in that this is starting to look a lot more like fabric. Let me do that one more time so you can see that. If I top this down to 0, you can see how the light reflects over here. And then if we bump this up to 1, you can see it immediately begins looking a lot more like fabric as it's kind of catching that light around the edges. The next thing is that what really kind of sells fabric realism, in my opinion, is kind of the fuzz on fabrics. So what we can do is we're going to add a particle system. And I'm going to just click here with our shark chosen. And then I've actually created a vertex group called cloves.
Wait, what?
Our shark chosen, add a particle system. And I'm going to just click here with our shark chosen. And then I've actually created a vertex group called cloves. And if I tab into here, I have everything that has my clothing material on it selected. And if you don't have that, you just select everything that has clothing, and then you just go ahead and click assign, and it'll do that. So then what I can do is come back out here to object mode. I'm going to come down here to the particle system, and we're going to add particles. I'm going to switch over to solid view to make this a bit easier.
All right. Whoa, what the fuck? All right, so let's continue. I don't know why I put clothing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do hair. We're going to add particles. I'm going to switch over to solid view to make this a bit easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to do hair, and we'll see that that just starts shooting out in every single direction. And first what I want to do is adjust the hair length. For some reason by default it is 4 meters. I've never understood why. Let's start with 0.1, something really short.
Hmm. What I can't see the hairs. Maybe it's too small. Oh, maybe it's because of the way this is scaled. Oh god. 100? 100. Instead of 0.1, it'll be 100. Oh, I guess the shadows is what captures the particles. Let's say hello. Art is done. Don't mind. This sounds like that. Alright. I'm done. Oh, cool. Oh shit, what? Okay. Escape Simulator's $11 out of 15. Was it always 15? I thought it was 20. They might have changed that. How odd. How nice. Um. Oh, that's right. Sorry. What's your opinion on credited and appropriate use of AR? I generated one, and it doesn't look that bad. Let's see. AR art's kind of a tricky subject. Hmm. All right. What's your opinion on accredited and appropriate use of AR art? What would count as appropriate use? I wonder. Semantic-y. Oh. Let's see. Mm, accredited. Oh shit. Alright, so I got little hairs. You can see them better in this one. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, what is this? I'll finish the new component prototype by this time tomorrow. Okay. Alright. People need AI because they clean that way. Oh, never mind. I was like, okay. AI because they clean as the on is bad. Where is it? I knew. Alright, hold on. Let me check something out real quick. Oh, shoot. Alright, where was I? Continue the video. Where's the video? What is this? Oh, wait, no, it's something else. So is that. Alright.
And that's looking great already. Here we have 5 segments, and we're going to want to add a bit of curls to our hair, and each segment kind of gives us another point on that hair that we can curl up. We're going to need to adjust the viewport display to show that. So right now it's strand sets, it's set to 2. We're going to set that to 5 so that we can accurately see there. Now
Right. You want that? It was. Wait. Let me go back.
strand sets, it's set to 2.
Oh, viewport display. I see. Banana. Yep. Let me see. Oh, is it really? Oh, it's really zoomed in. Hold on. Why is it so zoomed in? Oh, shit. It's a cat white with a shirt that's 4 times too small and shoes. Boom. Alright, there we go. Alright.
I'm going to set that to 5 so that we can accurately see there. Now what we're going to do is come down here to vertex groups. We only want this to appear on our clothes, so I'm going to go ahead, grab the clothes here, and you'll see that it begins there. I have a small selection error down here, so just ignore that. I'm sure you can make fun of me in the comments if you like. So let's come up here, and what we can do is start playing with the look of our hair. So right now it's just straight little hair everywhere, and we don't want that, and we also kind of want more. So right here by default it's set to 1,000, but if we turn on this children here, it'll start creating child particles for every one of those thousands, and we don't need quite that many. So I'm going to pump this down to 500 and turn this up so that the display amount matches the render amount, and you can see that we're getting a lot of fur. So next up, let's start.
Children, I make it simple, and then I zoom out. Okay, that goes up to 100. Ah, oh, it looked like spots. Whoa. That's interesting.
The display amount matches the render amount, and you can see that we're getting a lot of fur. So next up, let's start kind of messing with this fuzz here to make it look a bit more fuzzy. So first of all, by default, the settings here on the hair shape are quite big. You'll notice that the diameter root's 1 meter. So I like to take this down to kind of 0.1 or 0.25, and that'll make the hair a bit smaller at the root. So if I switch over here to render view, we can start to see what that's looking like. And by default, it's going to kind of just render that top material, which is not what we want. What we're going to
What is it again? Hair shape, diameter, root. I don't really see a change, if I'm being quite honest. Oh, whoa. Okay. Alright, I'll just leave it like that then.
do is we're going to come up here to our material plane. We're going to add a new slot, and we're going to call this fabric fuzz.
Oh. Fabric. No. Fuzz. Alright.
And then we're going to delete this BSDF here. We're going to hit Shift A, search, and we're going to look for hair. We want to add this principled hair BSDF. And
Oh, what? Oh, there's no hair. What? Did they remove it? They might have changed it. Hold on. It might be like somewhere else. Wait, let me see again. How odd. Let's see, of glossy, diffuse, specular, refraction, principal, translucent, transparent, so super scattering. Um. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, this is not shot me. Do you have any favorite parts? Any parts you like? If you ask me, the fact this shirt's too small is cute. Now let me take a look at it again. Is it this one? Wait, hold on. Let me look it up to see why there isn't a. Hold on. Blender. Hair. Hair. BSDF. Maybe it might be an add-on. Let's see. Always come back. It's easy to use shader to render hair and fur. Realistic. Hold on. There was an option to look at missing. Missing. Oh, is it only in... Wait, hold on. Do I have to be in cycles for it to show up? I do. Oh, okay, so this only works in cycles. Ooh, that kind of sucks. I don't really like cycles. I mean, I don't really understand how it works. I always mostly go with EV.
And to make our particles actually recognize that, what we need to do is go into the particle settings, come down here to render, and we'll see here that we have the choice for material. So we're going to go ahead and put that as our new fabric fuzz.
All right. Let's see. Render. Fabric fuzz. Wait, do I have one called fuzzy? Oh, I do. God, that's confusing. Oh, God. All right, hold on. All right, so let's continue.
And we can see that kind of coming in with our color there. And we can see here that it's adapting to this kind of brown that we have here, which is not what we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose kind of a color off of here. And I'm going to want a lighter color. Fuzz tends to kind of look lighter when it's hit by the light, but we can kind of accent that by choosing a color from there. And you can see already that's starting to look a lot more natural. Of course, it's...
All right. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go into rendered view. I don't like how long it takes for it to sort of settle. And it kind of just looks very blurry. That might be sort of my fault though. I don't know how it works too much, so maybe I could fix this by playing around with sort of the render settings. Oh, my blender's lagging, sorry. And look at the comments. Everyone commented on on making it look better. Wait, hold on. How to make the fluffiest plushies in 20 minutes. Easy felt material. Hmm. How odd. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so confused. This isn't really good for beginners. Someone couldn't find a hair control hair as BSVF. This was 2 years ago. So I'm just looking at TikToks that someone sent me. Cordius. Cordius? What? I wish there was a way to do this without using cycles. I'm not the biggest fan of cycles. Yeah, like I hate that. I can't even see the fur anymore. Alright, I'm done. This is a bust. Bang. Hey, look at that. That looks like grass. Damn. I don't know why the hairs only grew on one side of it. It's kind of weird. Why you like this? Because of mirror, maybe? I don't know. Why are they spots? I have no clue. Alright. Well, hold on. There's some other videos here that deal with felt. Let me look at these.
Want your video to stand out? Go to
No.
moshere.com.
No. I wonder if it says whether it's cycles or not. Using the particle system, so I might use cycles. Sorry, I have the ad playing. I probably should have.
In this video, we'll create a super cute plushie using basic
Where is it?
modeling, texture painting, and hair particles to make it look real and fluffy. Now, I've got a fresh Blender scene opened up. I already deleted the camera and the light here. And I'm gonna go into front view here with numpad 1, Shift A, and I'm gonna look up this thing called an image reference. Now, this will allow me to add in an image reference, and I'm gonna add in this cute little
Sorry. Alright. Oh, he's gonna like model it actually. I don't really care too much about that. Just adding mouth. Add plastic shader. Most texture painting the body. Setting up lighting environment. Creating hair particle. I wanna see if he uses cycles or not.
Be 0.5 because I just want this to be a little bit more. I think that looks a little bit more natural. And let's set the shape to be 1.5 here. Nope, let's just cut that out. The next thing you'll notice
It looks
here
like
is that we have
cycles.
the eyes and the mouth that are very poorly visible because the hair particles are everywhere. So the fur is looking kind of nice, but we need to make the eyes and mouth more visible. What we can do is we can go into weight paint. We can still see all of these particles, so just scroll up and let's disable the particles here. And what we want to do is we want to create some sort of mask to tell Blender where the particles should or shouldn't be. So I'm going to draw around these eyes and immediately you'll notice that we have too little detail to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here into the modifiers, into the subdivision here, and I'm just gonna hit Control A to apply the subdivision surface. Now we'll have more geometry to work with and it won't change our texturing at all. So let's make sure we actually draw around these eyes and let's make sure we draw around the mouth here as well. Now what? Well, now if we go to the particles again, re-enable them, there they are, and scroll all the way down here to the vertex groups, we can go to the density and we can choose the group that we just created. Now this will invert it, so we now only have all of the hairs on the eyes and mouth instead of on the body. So next, what we need to do is we need to go up here into weights and choose invert. And now we'll make sure that the
Oh my
hairs are
god.
everywhere except for our eyes and mouth. Back into shading here, and we can now change a little bit of these principled hair BSDF settings. I'm going to set the overall roughness to be a little bit higher, 0.5, because it is not like actual hair, which is pretty reflective, but it's more like plushy hair, which is more dull in its color, a little bit more rough. I'm going to increase the radial roughness than in this case. Then we have the add brush if we want to add in a few more hairs somewhere. I'm not going to do that down the side here, and so they create more of a fluffy hair up there. And down here we have all of these cute legs. Now you might need to fix the lighting a little bit, and let's go ahead and enable some here. Set it to GPU compute, enable the viewport denoising, and set the samples to about 128 or so. Now let's hop on over to the world shading. Click.
Alright. 1 second. I'll be right back. I need to go get something. BRB. Whew, I'm back. Sorry, I did my laundry this morning, and the last, what do they say? Like, clump? Last batch. Finished drying right now. So I went to go get that. So anyway, this video, like the other one, also
Welcome, guys,
uses
to another
cycles.
Blender
I'm gonna
tutorial, and
quickly
today
skim through this video as
short
well. I
hair
use
length
particles,
and just
so
make it
I
very
assume it's going to use
render.
cycles
Let's make
too.
that 20. A lot better. It's got a, and I'm going to come here to the children. I'm going to
I
make
just
it
need to
8
like see it to
in the
confirm it.
viewport. And let's just make it, and let's just
Hey, got a second?
Whoops.
I'm going to show you how I got the flexibility
Google.
to code, create, and
Maybe stop
experiment
showing me
my way.
ads.
try out some different colors. So I'm gonna make
Wait,
maybe
why
like
does
a nice
Google show
green,
ads? Does anyone else use
and grab
anything
the bottom
else?
one, make that like a green.
They have like a monopoly on
almost
fucking
kind of similar.
Google.
And let's just. I'm also
Why the
just
fuck
gonna
are
go
they
to my
showing
particles,
ads?
grab
Do
that
they want me to
second
use
particle
more
system,
Google?
and I'm just gonna increase the length just a little bit.
Anyway, yeah, let's use the cycles. Alright. Damn. Okay. I don't think there's a way to do it in Eevee then. Because they all use hair BSDF and you can't access that BSDF. Sorry. Ooh. What the fuck? You can't access the hair BSDF without first going into cycles. Let's see, let's look at this
Hi
one.
everyone,
Nah,
I'm
they're not gonna
Ivan
use the hair
Orlandini, and
BSDF.
today I will show
I don't know
you
why
how
I'm
to
like acting
easily
like
make
that as if
and
they're not going to.
change our render resolution.
I think if they're using the particle
Amazing
hair, then they're,
query on
yeah,
it, and you
cycles.
can do it
Alright.
on every.
Welcome
Okay,
guys to another
that's
Blender
fine.
tutorial, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple
That doesn't really
felt
matter too
material.
much to me. It would be nice to find a way to do it with EVs. But since I can't, then like, you know, it's like a whatever burger. It's a shame though, because I did save these two videos because I thought they were cool. This is actually cool though. I'm gonna bookmark this. Just in case I ever need it. I don't need that anymore. Alright. Well, can you see this screen? Okay, you can. See, I got plug materials. I have make object look like painting. We'll probably do that one. Maybe. Some of these I think might require me to UV unwrap, which I haven't done yet. For my pen goal and we'll see though. Cool modder. I meant to write modeler, but you know what I mean. Oh yeah, all the blending nodes explained. Adding a hatch art shader style also goes over making outline with grease pencil. These two videos. What is this? Use this image to put an image texture over another. Okay, that's something else. Video for cell shading, basic tune video. I kind of use these. I put them in here so I could erase them from my tabs list because I don't want to have too many tabs open because it makes things confusing and it probably also does a lot bad on performance. So yeah, let's look at this painting one. I feel like it's obligatory for me to actually now look at to see if they've used what shader they've used for this. I believe it's Eevee. It hasn't shown any signs of not using Eevee. Yeah, look at that. It looks sick as shit. This is more texture painting than it is actual like using a shader, which makes me feel like maybe I shouldn't do this right now. It looks sick as fuck though.
But for now, it is okay.
Like this looks cool. I feel like you have to be kind of a good artist to do this kind of stuff though. And that, my friends, I am not.
Medium like me.
Self-proclaimed,
I understand.
self-proclaimed
It's
bad
not
artist
just
over
fun
here.
to do all sorts of work. I mean, blenders can already handle all type of tasks. So it would be overkill if I demand more than that. It's already awesome that I can do this sort of hand painting jobs done in Blender. So yeah, no more complaint. Let's just enjoy as much as we can from Blender. So I'm adjusting the shade area a bit more, trying to match the reference as much as possible. Also I put some seeds here and there because we hardly see watermelons with our seeds. In fact, those seeds drive me crazy when I try to enjoy a watermelon.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. We go through a lot every day, and loose ceramides my barrier needs to seal in moisture.
So, I am not the best drawer. I couldn't find a tutorial anywhere for this, so here we go.
Hello, my name's Mizu and this video is about my process.
Sorry if I'm quiet. I got an ice cream when I was downstairs, so I'm just eating a little bit of ice cream. Alright, I finished it. Let's continue. Headphones on. Alright, let's go.
If I'm being honest. But like with most things in Blender, we get to fake it using some trickery with the shading and other such tools, which is really great. So that's what we're going to be covering in this video. So the process for you to actually make this shader is really pretty easy. It all just begins with just grabbing a crosshatch texture. You can get one off Google or whatever you want. Just download it. Doesn't even have to be seamless. You'll see why later. But just get an object and drag that in there. Once you've got it, just pop it in as an image texture and you're good to go.
They're not gonna provide us with one? Lol. XD. Oh wait, here, someone asked me. I got off a quick Google search, just look up crosscut texture. Found some good ones. Okay. I think he used this one. Wait, no. I think he used this one. Oh wait, there's a fucking Shutterstock on it. Are you fucking me? Seamless. I know.
Now we're going to get rid of our principled BSDF and grab a diffuse BSDF instead. Take that and just plug that into a shader to RGB node, and then we're just going to grab a mix RGB node. You have to search for this. You can't actually get one by dragging it off the shader to RGB. You might be able to, but if you type in mix, it doesn't actually come up for some reason. Don't know why. Now just go ahead and plug both of those into the various color inputs here, just the image texture and the shader to RGB. And then if you plug that into the surface, you'll get something that looks a little bit like this. It will just be completely covered in the...
Alright, so I just wanted to look at it a little bit. Wait, what? Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry. I think I will use this one actually. Oh, actually maybe not. It's a little blurry. A little basic. I might still use this one. I wonder if maybe it'll not look as blurry once I save it. Alright. Probably delete this one. This one wasn't a success. Hatch, like events, like Among Us. Sorry, that was kind of cringe. I know what bum 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 bum. Oh wait, did I put it in? I did. Hold on. It's not very visible. Oh wait, did I do that right? Hold on. Let's go back to the video. It is a mix.
The cross hatching just all over it. So now we need to actually make it so the light is going to affect it. So the way we do that is with a handy dandy color ramp node coming straight off the mix shader, mix RGB, sorry. And then just plug that into the surface, and then as you drag the black and white up, it will gradually make that the light.
Right, I think I might need to play around with this stuff. Oh, there we go. Let's play around with that too. All right. You're the hue. Alright, let's continue. Whoops, fuck, I accidentally opened up Epicins again!
The light affected, so it'll be mixing them based on wherever your lamp is, or your sun, or whatever angle it is. If I just go ahead and bring in this light a little bit closer, you'll see it a little bit better. There you go. That's much easier to see. So what's cool about this is you're not actually limited to just black and white or whatever color your image texture is. You can actually make this any color you want to. You can set it to constant to get it just completely black and white, just two colors if you want, or if you leave it on linear, then it will sort of blend them a little bit nicer. But if you leave them quite close together, then yeah. But you can set this to be any color that you want to. So if you just change the colors on the color ramp node here, you can see that it actually changes to whatever you set it to, which is really cool. But it doesn't stop there. We can customize this some more. So if we take a look at our image texture here, our crosshatch, if you get a add-on called the Node Wrangler add-on, you may have this, it's a pretty standard add-on, you can just hit Control T and you get this mapping node and texture coordinate node here. And that means you can mess around with the scale of it or the location, rotation. You can do a whole bunch of different things. But the scale is the one we're interested in. You can get some different effects. You can make it really detailed or quite like thick and heavy lined, sort of. Is that even a term? Heavy lined? I don't know. But you can essentially play around with that then. But because I said earlier on it doesn't actually have to be seamless, there's a add-on made by Blender Guru called the Uber Mapping Node, and it essentially means you can replace this mapping node with something else. I'll have a link to that, to a video at least, where you can get that off there, because I don't know if I can share the link. I don't know how it works. But I'll link to the video where you can get that from. And if you just drop that in, so here you can see polygon group, it's called Mosaic. If you just drop that in and plug it into the same things that the mapping node is plugged into, so vector into UV, or UV into UV, and then the UV into vector, got that all back to front, This will then sort of twist them. So rather than tiling it perfectly, it kind of like randomly rotates them. So it's not as easy to notice like the patterns, which is a really great thing. He's got a great video sort of showing this off. I won't go into too much detail on how it works because, as I said, I'll link it below. It's a really great tool. So yep, once you've done that, what I recommend you do is you can actually save this into a material library if you've got a certain add-on turned on. So here there's the material library VX. I made a little short about this a while ago. I don't, if you might have seen it. But essentially, if you go into the add-on tab, you can look up for material library VX, and then you can just save materials that you've made. It's super handy, and then you can load them in any other blend file. Super cool, really great. I'm not going to save this one because I've already got this one saved. Here, annoyingly, I don't know what happened. I did have more materials in here, but for some reason they were deleted. I don't know why, bug with Blender or something. But it's super useful. So you can see as you hit apply there, Blender crashes apparently. Oh man, I don't know why. But yeah, you can save that and it's useful. It's handy, saves time. Anyway, at this point, you're going to want to add in an outline. So for the purposes of this video, I will be using the grease pencil to do this, as I did in my last video, but...
Alright, so yeah, he's going over the grease pencil thing now. So I just want to play around with this a little bit. Cool. Sure. Yawn. Alright, so let's continue watching the grease pencil portion of this. Okay, that was weird. Sorry, I was looking at something.
you can do this with any number of different ways to get outlines. Like I've got another video which I'll again have linked or in a little card here to get an outline, essentially using like emission and back face culling. It's a whole process, but it gives a slightly different effect. It's a bit cleaner. I quite like it. But you can use either of these. They're both really good. So the way you do the grease pencil one, just real quick and simple, is essentially you just want to make a new collection where your outlined things are going to go into, then add in a grease pencil blank, and then add a line art modifier in the modifier.
Yeah, a new collection. Chest. Alright, I'll put you in there. Then we want to create a grease pencil. Once again, modifier. I forgot immediately. Let's see.
A new collection where your outlined things are going to go into, then add in a grease pencil blank, and then add a line art modifier in the modifiers tab, selecting the grease pencil, set the collection to the relevant one, the layer to the GP layer, and the material to black, and then you've got an outline, and then you can edit it however you see. You can change the color, do whatever you want. I've got, again, another video just showing you how to make that sort of like a pencil sketch outline, so you can go and check that out. But there you go, you've got an outline, and that will follow the camera around, so as you move the camera around, the line art will follow it with you. And what you can do here is you can, again, start changing up the colors. So if you want to have, say, the shadows be light, because I actually quite like the way this looks. I think it looks pretty cool. It's almost like the negative of the image. It's just, I think it's pretty cool. But you can change it up into all sorts of different colors and get any sort of effect you want. You could put like a sort of paper filter over the top of this and get it looking more flat. You can, if you don't set it to linear and you've got it set to constant here, then it will just be the two distinct colors, so you can match it to the background color and get the exact same thing, so it looks like it just blends into the background. It's really customizable. It's a really great shader. I like this a lot. I've started using it in a number of different things. So anyway, yeah, hope you found this useful. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see.
Okay, I can't really see the outline, so hold on, let me play around with it a little. I wasn't actually watching the video when he made it, so I might go back to check real quick.
Things are going to go into, then add in a grease pencil blank, and then add a line art modifier in the modifiers tab, selecting the grease.
You get a camera TPU there. Oh, but I'm not really using a camera. I still want to see what he did though. God, I'm like lagging so bad. Like it takes me a long time to get from.
Line art modifier in the modifiers tab.
Maybe I have to have a camera selected. Never mind then.
Selecting the grease pencil, set the collection to the relevant one, the layer to the GP layer, and the material to black, and then you've got an outline, and then you can edit it however you see. You can change the color, do whatever you.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he didn't really add anything else to it. So I wonder why it doesn't have an outline. Let me see the comments. Someone always has something to say. Oh, this guy apparently showed us a different way. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. So I'm just like reading the comments. What the fuck? I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go back. For some reason, I'm not getting the outline to work on my end. I don't understand why. Yeah, I don't know. I could always watch his other video where he talks about it. Probably gonna do that. We'll see what he says.
You want? I've got.
But pretty interesting. It's basically just using a an image texture and then using a color ramp to affect the way it works on the shading aspect. The only problem with the things that I've been learning, I'm pretty sure everything that I've learned so far that involves too much shader mumbo jumbo will probably not be able to be used for games. They won't transfer neatly, nicely in a bow. And you could try painting it onto a texture image, but then it will lose the ability to sort of interact with light since it's an image and not a dynamic shader. Hmm. Damn. Alright, hold on. Let's move on to the next one. Pencil shading outline.
First thing you're going to want to do is make a new collection. Just rename that to anything. I'm going to call it cube. Just put your object into that collection just like so, and then we're going to add in a grease pencil blank. Now that you've got that, if we...
Oh, it is inside. Wait, maybe that's the problem. No, never mind. The other one had it outside, and this one has it inside. But it doesn't seem to change anything. Maybe the object's too big. Or maybe I just did something very wrong. Ooh, in which case, I'm not too sure. Let me pick the other one. Okay, I didn't really do anything. Alright, let's continue, sorry.
We go on over into the modifiers tab, you can add in a line art modifier, making sure you're selecting the grease pencil when you do this. Leave this set to collection, select the collection that you want to use, make this the GP layer and black. Pretty much all standard. Now you'll see we have a fully uniformed line around our cube, but it doesn't look anything like a pencil.
Let me just make a basic cube and see maybe if it works on a cube. It doesn't. Oh, maybe it's because I'm in rendered. Oh, wait, there might be an outline there. Okay, it doesn't change anything. Alright, never mind then. I thought maybe I was seeing an outline here on this cube. When I deselected it, it kind of looked like there was an outline. How odd. I wonder why this isn't working. I don't understand. Am I doing something wrong? Maybe. But anyway, it's whatever. Let's just keep on going. Actually, I can't even do it, so it's whatever. I'll skip it then. Oh wait, let's look at this guy. There was another guy who commented on another way of doing it. Oh wait, did I delete it? Wait, no, I didn't. Alright, so this guy says in the shader tab, you can use the Frenzel node and multiply it over your texture with a mixed RGB node. You can use a color ramp to change what color you want the outline to be as well. Alright, hold on. What is this? What's the hatch? Okay, what is it? Sorry. In the shader tab, you use the Frenzel node and multiply it over your texture with a mix RGB. think like that. Multiply it over your texture with a mix RGB. You can use a color ramp to change. Wait, hold on, I want to see how that looks. Wait, does this even count as an outline? I mean, it looks interesting. It looks like, I don't know, metal. Hold on, let me... I mean, from the side, it looks really good. It reminds me more of like a rim light than it does a, I don't know if that's, I don't know how it's supposed to look, so I can't really base it off of anything. But alright. Whoops. Alright, so that's done. That's done. There's a video here, how I animate in Blender with Grease Pencil. This is video 3, simple toon shaders for creating 2D, 3D artwork in Blender. I just like to scroll down and see if I find anything that I'd like. And if I do, then I use it. Or I look at it. Oh, I kind of want to see this one. Looks cool. This does mean I have a bunch of tabs open that I don't know if I like or not. But yeah, I decided not to do this one right now since this one relies more on texture painting than shaders. I'll do it at some point, but not today. And then these are for later. I want to watch this one. I'll watch it. I might watch it on my own. Okay, this is for the eyebrow. I could delete that one, and this is the face stuff. Okay. I could delete those two. Okay, that's the crosshatch. I don't need that anymore. And this picture. Okay. I cleaned up a little. So let's watch this one. It's a 4-minute video. How I Animate in Blender with Grease Pencil by Mizu-kun. I just want to see how they do it. It'd be interesting. And then after that, we'll watch this one. Oh, wait, no, not that one. Sorry. Although this is a really cool way of doing like a time lapse. Look at that. Wow. Damn, look how much fucking topology there is in the fucking head. That's crazy. Wait, what the fuck was that? Like highlights? For the mouth? Oh, that's cool. Damn, they're making shaders for the oh holy shit. Whoa. Okay, that was actually cool. What the fuck? Oh. Oh, what the fuck? This is like a window? Oh. I thought it was like a car, you know, like those, they have those like side mirrors. I thought that's what they were doing. They were adding side mirrors to their head. Now, this is the part I wanted to see. Them making their hair. It looks like they're making it 3D, but like in boxes, I think. Maybe? And then they add little strands. I think, I don't know, I can't see it from this angle. I wish it'd zoom in a little. Oh. So made the background first, and then they put a what? That's interesting. I know we kind of just jumped into this one. I just got super invested in their hair making process. So they make like a one with a darker shaded color as a sort of under hair, and then they make a sort of one with a lighter color as the top part of the hair. It looks like they make it out of blocks, but then they like, I don't know. I can't really see it very well from these angles. It looks like they're making it with blocks, but then I guess they shrink it down really thin. Look how nice that looks though. Holy shit. And they didn't even use like sculpting or like creases. Look how, oh my god. Oh my goodness. This is a cool way though to make a time lapse. I wonder how they did it. It's such an odd way to do it. It also looks very like mechanical, like very methodical. Like you could replicate this if you slowed it down fast enough. Or slow enough, I guess. You know what I mean? Jesus, look at all those fucking edge loops that they're adding. Damn feet. Whose toes are those? He's like beveling the fucking body out and adding more loop cuts. Holy shit, this is like a very loop cut heavy model. Wait, 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 wait. Damn, he even animated it. Shit. What the fuck is he doing? It reminds me of like in like magical girl animes where like they fucking suit up. This is what it's reminding me of. But instead of suiting up, they're like making an actual character. It's interesting. Sorry. Oh, that's an interesting way of making it. Holy fuck. And they're doing an underside too. And then what is this? Like a little. Oh. Damn, look at those creases they're adding. I feel like I'm watching a laser cutter. Oh my god, and they do this shading afterwards. Shit. That's crazy. This is 9 days ago. Holy shit. Hold on. That's fucking dope as fuck. I can't even recommend who they are because I don't know how to say that name. They even they even did the background. Holy shit. That's fucking dope as fuck. Are these also their videos? I remember watching this one. But I don't know if that's also his. And also the Makima one. That was sick. Oh, it is, I think. Oh, I mean, that looks similar to the face they made. Yeah, it's a time lapse on making from cube to finish 1 hour time lapse. This is why this is why I like finding like Japanese people who do models. They always find the most interesting ways to make it. I think that's where I got like the sort of method that I use to make my heads from a Japanese guy's time lapse video. I just like God, dude, this is such a sick way to do it. I'm gonna have to watch his other videos. Holy fuck. Hold on, let me save this. Damn, okay. Sick. Oh yeah, I want to show this one. The 3 stylized, yeah. I just want to scroll down and see if I can find anything else from here. Red Shift Tune Shader. Is this in Blender? Let's see. You and Me Academy. Or is this, or is it a pro? Okay, this is in Blender. Never mind then. Bum 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 bum. Simple 2D settings to render enemy. Okay, I don't really care about that. I do want to look at this, the parallax shader. I don't know if I want to look at it now though. I might like make a link to it and I'll save it to look at later. Mobius 3D. Okay, let's watch. Enough being said. Once I'm done watching these two, and I'll save this. What's it called? Parallax. I'll save this to watch for later. But once I'm done, whoops. Watching those two. And if I'm unable to find like something that I want to try with in Blender right now, then I will switch over to doing Regulus. Let's watch these. Pretty short, 4-minute. This is 15 minutes. I don't know if I'll even watch all of this. So let's start.
To make this animation in Blender. There are timestamps for each segment, so feel free to skip around the video for the part that you'd like to see. With that, let's begin. The general scene is made of 3 main parts: 3D models, grease pencil objects, and lights and cameras. Let's start with the 3D models. Everything except for the flowers and girl are 3D models, which I made using basic Blender edit techniques like bevel, loop cuts, and boolean modifiers. All the 3D models I made were just a combination of those techniques. To achieve the 2D cell shaded effect that you see in the animation, I used a simple toon shader. To make one, just select your object, add a new material, and then add the shader to RGB and color ramp nodes in the shader editor and connect them like so. Change the color ramp setting here from linear to constant, and now you can add different colors that will appear at different brightness levels as you can see. Just experiment with the colors until you find the right settings for your piece. To add an outline to the models, add another material slot to your object. Delete this and instead add an emission node. Then change the color here to whatever color you want your outline to be. Now, this is important. Go to the settings of your material here and select backface culling and change shadow mode to none. Once you're done with that, go to the modifier tab and add a solidify modifier. Go into normals and turn on flip and high quality, then go into materials and select your material offset to 1. Then change the thickness to a negative value and there you go. Feel free to adjust these other settings to get the look that you want from your outline.
Grease pencil.
Let's proceed to the grease pencil objects. First of all, we have the background details over here. They were made by setting the pencil stroke placement to surface, which lets you draw on 3D models. I use an offset of 0.001 so that the lines are just touching the 3D surface as seen here. For the flowers, I used the 3D cursor stroke placement with my drawing plane set to view. You can move the 3D cursor by pressing shift and right clicking your mouse. The flowers only work from select angles, so I only drew from those angles to make sure that the shot looks good. If I went past any of those angles as seen here, the scene kind of falls apart. For the girl, I set my drawing plane to front and drew everything on one plane. When I was done, to add a little more of a 3D effect, I just rotated her a little to the side, and that honestly did a lot. Now for the animation. For the light animation, I added an empty plane axis and parented the light to it by selecting the two objects and pressing Ctrl P. Then, in the dope sheet, I added a keyframe for the plane axis and rotated it in a second keyframe to move the light, as you can see here. For the camera, I did the exact same process. Now for the grease pencil objects, it was a little more tricky. I made two keyframes, one with a little shadow and one with a lot. Then, to transition between these two, I went into edit mode and pressed Shift Ctrl E. This is interpolation, where Blender will automatically create in-between frames for your keyframes. To adjust the timing and speed of these, just play around with the curve settings here. Last but not least, exporting the file. So here are the settings that I use to export my video. Everything else is set to the default. And that's my process for each part of this piece. Hopefully my workflow dissection was helpful in some way, and if
Okay, so overall, like, it seems simple on hand. But then again, if I were to try to replicate something like that, I'd probably struggle. It's kind of cool how deceivingly simple it seems. Obviously, the drawing that she made of the girl requires its own artistic skills in terms of drawing something that I don't have. But yeah, overall, it seemed simple, but also really, really cool. It came out looking really good. So yeah, I just wanted to see how they did that. It's always good to watch like time lapses and people talking about that kind of stuff. Anyway, last thing before I move on.
Hey everyone, it's Kevin, and I hope you guys have been doing well. This video was about shader setups, which is a question that I get asked about pretty frequently. I've done a few tutorials where I show different styles, but I thought it would be good to compile the shaders from them into one video. So here, I'm going to show you 3 simple stylized shader setups that you can do in Blender 3D with Eevee. These are great if you're trying to achieve a 2D illustrated look, but in 3D. I really gravitate towards that hybrid style because while I love the look of 2D, I also like the depth and immersion that you can get with 3D. What makes Blender a great program for achieving this aesthetic is that not only does it have access to a variety of tools and is free, it also has Grease Pencil. If you don't know what Grease Pencil is, it's an object within Blender that allows you to draw 2D directly in 3D space, which makes it extremely versatile for a variety of workflows. And if you want to learn more about it, you can check out my Grease Pencil course I released with CG Boost, and I'll have more info at the end of the video. So many of my pieces are set up the same way with some geometry modeled, a stylized shader applied to them, and Grease Pencil used for more of the illustrated elements and details. Now, I'm sure there are more optimal setups for achieving non-photorealistic looks, and depending on what you're going for and how intensive it is, there's a lot more factors to take into consideration. But I hope these are helpful starting points if you're new to this kind of work. Before we dive into the shaders, there's a bit of setup that we'll need to do first. So here I have a new Blender file I just created using version 3.4 and I'm in the layout workspace. The first thing we'll need to do is adjust our color settings. So let's go to the render properties tab, which is this icon here. And again, we'll be using Eevee as our renderer. Go down to color management and in the view transform dropdown, change this from filmic to standard. This will change our view and allow the colors to appear more accurately according to the style we're going for. Also, I generally change the look right underneath it to medium-high contrast. This is a personal preference, but it helps to make the colors appear more vibrant. Going to the viewport, let's set the viewport shading to material preview up here. Then click the drop down to the right of it and toggle Scene Lights and Scene World. This is important because the shaders can be affected by light sources in our scene. Going to the World Properties tab, I'm going to select a light warm color.
No.
Next, we'll enable Node Wrangler. This is a free add-on that will be helpful for our node work in the next part. If you already have it, great, and if you don't, it's not completely necessary, but if you want to enable it, go up to Edit at the top, Preferences, Add-ons, search Node Wrangler, and click the checkbox to activate it. Then close out of this box. Lastly, change the timeline down here to the shader editor by clicking this button in the top left and selecting it from the list. And now we're ready to start. So the first shader we'll cover is a simple toon shader. This is probably the most common setup, and it allows you to achieve a cel shaded look. When I was starting out with Blender, this was the setup I used the most because it was easy and effective in getting a 2D look. It also paired well with Grease Pencil. Some pieces where I've used this setup is in this Nintendo Switch piece, and it's a bit hard to see where it's actually used here, so I'll turn off the Grease Pencil strokes for now. So it's used on the Switch mesh itself, and the background and swirling motion lines are set up similarly to complement it. And because of this shader's simplicity, it's a great shader for achieving a variety of different styles. Most recently, I used it in this piece to replicate a screen printed poster of the Matterhorn bobsleds at Disneyland, but in 3D. Going back to our file, let's set this up. Delete this cube with X and hit Shift A to bring in a mesh monkey. Let's subdivide this monkey by going to the Modifier Properties tab and selecting Subdivision Surface from the list. I'll set the levels to 2. Now, a quick way to apply a subdivision surface modifier with levels 2 is to select your mesh and hit Ctrl 2. With it still selected, I'll right click and select Shade Auto Smooth. Now, go down to the shader editor and click New. Let's rename this to Simple Toon Shader. Zoom in and collapse the side menu with N. Here we have the default principled BSDF plugged into the material output. For the BSDF, we don't really need everything underneath it, so you might see this setup.
Oh god, this is very slow. Hold on. I want to see if I get. I think I already know this one.
You can go to the principled BSDF node and darken the base color. Or for more precision, you can select it and hit Ctrl T to bring in a mapping and texture coordinate node. Connect the vector output for the mapping node to the base color input of the principled BSDF and delete the image texture node with X. Then connect the generated output of the texture coordinate node into the vector input of the mapping node, and then you can adjust the coverage based on these mapping values. Now, if you see these blurry artifacts on the shader, this is because of the lights in your scene. If you want to remove those, you can click on your light object and uncheck Shadow in the Object Data Properties tab. And as mentioned previously, you can bring in other lights to also affect the coverage. Clicking back on the monkey, there's many things you can do here. For example, you don't need to keep the color ramp constant. Instead, you can change it to B-spline to work with gradients instead. Also, if you want to add texture on top of it, you can bring in a noise texture node and a color ramp. Set the color ramp to constant and connect the noise texture color output to the color ramp factor input. Then let's mix these two color ramps together. While holding Ctrl-Shift, right-click drag between them to activate this green line and mix them. If this isn't working for you, you can just bring in a mix node. In previous versions of Blender, this was called Mix RGB. Change this from float to color and connect the original color ramp color output to input A, and then connect the color output from the second color ramp to input B. And then connect the result output of the mix node to the surface input of the material output. Going to the mix node, change mix to multiply, and adjust the sliders of the second color ramp until we see the original color underneath it. This setup overlays a noise texture on top of the original toon shader we created. So in the mix node, whatever is in slot B will appear on top. Going to the noise texture, I'm going to increase the scale to 100, and now I have these specks on top of the toon shader. You can also lessen the coverage amount with the color ramp and adjust the opacity of the texture via the mix node factor. And that's it for this shader. Now, there's lots of other textures and options you can play around
Ooh,
with,
sorry.
and here are a few examples of what I've done with this.
Oh, cool.
And when pairing it with grease pencil, it can easily complete the look you're going for. So for example, going back to this screen printed poster scene, I have this bobsled modeled and then shaded with that simple toon shader we just created. Then the more illustrated elements like the riders here are drawn with grease pencil. The next setup we'll cover is a textured gradient shader. This
Wow.
shader helps to achieve more of a textured look. If you've seen my illustrated postcard tutorial or have done my stylized microscope tutorial over on the CG Boost channel, I'll have links to those below,
That looks
this is
cool.
the exact same setup. Some pieces I've used this in are in this scene of the Magic Kingdom castle and my Haunted Mansion scene recreation. So when looking at that scene, if I hide the grease pencil elements on the mansion, you'll see that all the meshes have this shader applied to them. There is a slight difference in that it has another texture applied to it, but that's what's great about these shaders is that you can experiment with them. Going back to our file, let's duplicate this monkey with Shift D and shift it over to the left along the X. We'll work on this middle one for now. Let's create a new shader from this by clicking this number to make a single user copy and rename this to Textured Gradient Shader. For now, let's connect the original ColorAmp's color output to the surface input of the material output. Moving to the left of the BSDF, let's shift the texture coordinate and mapping node over to the left and reset all the mapping values so location and rotation are at 0 and scale is 1. Then let's bring in a gradient texture node and a Voronoi texture node. Connect the vector output of, and just like with the previous setup,
Yeah, not to waste too much time, I'm just gonna skip through and see a little bit of each.
The new one.
Oh no.
Now in all new colors, like gray.
With
Whoa,
Blender.
that's just gray and gray coming out? Sorry, that's not.
The last shader we'll cover is a watercolor-like shader. I won't say it's an exact watercolor shader because
nice
it's
too.
really not, but it has a painterly feel. This is the one I love working with the most. When I was starting out with Blender, one of my goals was to learn how to achieve this procedurally, and so I did a few experiments that I proved upon over time. If you've done my 2D 3D cake tutorial, this is the same shader I've shown there. Some of my other pieces I've used this shader in are in my Explorer's Treehouse and Anime Inspired City. So going to that file, if I go to the buildings, you'll see they all have this shader applied to them. There is a slight deviation here in that when the light sources hit the buildings, the shader shows different colors, but I'll go over that in another video. Going back to our file, let's duplicate this middle monkey and shift it to the left along the X. We'll
Alright. I think that's enough. Not to like bore myself. I get quite bored. Especially, if I don't do it myself along with the video, then I start to get bored. And I wasn't gonna do it since, I was just looking at the different texture styles, shader styles, whatever. So yeah. Now that's done. I'm probably gonna save this one, because it's not bad. I do like it. It does help a lot. But I will probably look into actually doing it myself another time. Oh shit, why am I yawning so much? I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll save that one too. Okay. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, and when I come back, we will start, we'll go back to working on Regulus. So yeah, look forward to that. Alright, be Ooh, I'm sorry if I took longer than what I said I would. I went to go use the bathroom and then I remembered that I need to take the trash out. So I did that real quick. It's getting awfully late. Like, I mean, dark really quickly. I believe there was a, oh shit, sorry. I believe there was, daylight savings. I think it was yesterday, or the day before, or the day after. What? I don't know. Anyway, that day felt very long, and I was very tired by the end of it. So yeah, now it gets darker a lot earlier. Which wouldn't be that bad normally, but when I have to take out the trash and it's there's a chance that there's bears outside. Ooh, spooky. Nah, not really. I mean, I use my flashlight, so just in case. Alright, so like I said, before I left, I am going to start working on Regulus right now. I'm done with that. We are now doing this. Now, the arms are very thin. I don't know how I feel about how thin the arms are. It's kind of, I can't really get the sort of dimensions right with this, with this reference, since it's the clothing is very baggy, so it's hard to get an exact, sort of shape. Oh shit. Also, I don't know how I feel about the neck. It kind of looks a little weird. I might have to switch to a different reference. I don't know. For now, let's just keep it going. And if I find out that it's not the best, I might look for another one. Hold on. What is this? Sorry, I got texted by someone. I might need to help them with something. Oh god, there's always something. I always have to help someone with something. God damn it. Alright, never mind. Alright, let's continue then. So, last time I left off, I was blocking out the hands. If I look at the video here, he blocks out the hands. Oh shit, I gotta fucking add, didn't I? God damn it. I literally just started the video and it immediately gives me an ad. It looks like he blocks out the main hand, and then he uses one cube to make each individual finger. Since it seems like this guy's an artist, he has drawn his own reference, which is pretty cool. Nice job. However, that does mean that he has drawn out the sort of positions of the hands in its own little separate square on the reference. I don't have that, so the hand stuff is going to be a little bit difficult for me, a little bit different. Trying to see if he does anything else. Okay, then he just copies and pastes one finger once it's done onto the other three. I think he might do the thumb differently. Hmm. Hmm. So I'm just looking at him blocking out the hand, seeing what he does, how he does it. Alright, after that he does the ears, then he does the butt and the bobbles. Then he fixes the butt again, and then he goes goodbye. Okay. Now, I don't care really too much about the bubbles or butt, because like I said earlier today, the body's basically just a reference, a little, I don't know, like a mannequin where you could put things on it. It's just something I use to make rigging and also clothes making a lot faster and easier. Hmm. Just trying to inflate it so it doesn't look like as thin. Kind of looks a little weird the way it kind of is. How thin it is. If you know what I mean. All right. Now this view is actually pretty decent for making the hand. And then obviously I'll just mirror it on the other side. After I'm done getting the overall shape of it, I will rotate it into place. Okay, now I think I'm gonna go with the side view. I will have return it like it is in the front view, but in terms of shape, I'll go with the side view. These are actually different. I didn't realize they were different until just now. That's fine. Oh god. Oh god, that looks very weird. It fits in the side view, but the front view looks very odd. Hmm. don't know if this is the best way to go about it, but we'll see. I might actually end up just using a different reference. That doesn't mean that all these shapes are useless. They can just be reshaped with a new reference. Okay, this does not look very good. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm pretty okay with the upper body, I think, a little bit. Although we'll see. I don't really have another reference that I really like in terms of using it with this character. So if I were to get a new reference, I have to look for one. So I think I'm just going to continue watching the tutorial. That was the end of the first part, basically. So I'm going to watch the next part, which goes over the whole combining all the different bits and editing them using sculpt mode. Let's do that. Alright, I'll put it up on screen. Everyone can see it. And I'll listen to it with my headphones. How come my microphone's crackling? Might be. Alright, let's just watch this.
This is the second part in the character sculpt tutorial series where I go through my entire workflow from start to finish. If you missed the previous part where we set up our references and blocked the character out, there is a link in the description if you want to get caught up. Since we spent a lot of time on our block out, it should make sculpting the body easier. Let's go ahead and join all of the body parts together so we can make it all one mesh where it's all completely together and we can sculpt on it. We've got this big old piece that's got the legs and the arms and the butt cheeks, and we need to start applying all of the modifiers that's on each one of these individual things. You can click the arrow down button and hit apply to apply the modifiers. You usually want to apply them from the top down, but you can also click on the object, and while your mouse is hovering over one of these boxes, you can hold control and press A, which would be the shortcut for apply. So on the torso, control A is apply. You see all of these. We can apply the subdivision in the mirror on the hands, subdiv on the face, and on the ears, and the mirror on the ears. Okay, so let's join the legs, and the pelvis, and the torso, and the boobs, and the neck. I'm holding down shift while clicking these. Hit Control J to join them. Now they're all in one object. You can press slash to see that they're all one object, or if I turn on random for the objects, you can see that they're all the same color. Now we're not going to join the hands or the head yet. Did I join the ears? Okay, the ears just happen to have the same color. They are a different object. But yeah, we're going to leave the head. Let's join the two head pieces together though. Control J to join those. We're going to leave the ears, the head, and the hands separate right now. Everything else is joined together. Let's grab the torso. So when we're into edit mode, we can see we've got all of these meshes are together, but they're not manifold. See, if I press L on it, it will select everything that's linked here. And see, they're just overlapping. And what we want is them to all join together into being one mesh. And there's a few ways you can do this. There is an operation called booleans, but you don't want to join them together in order to do that. You would actually select one object, add a boolean, and then select another object to join to it. It gives you pretty bad topology. You can do it that way and then remesh over it, but you're going to end up remeshing. But there's different ways to remesh. You can click on the object, you can go and add a remesh modifier, which doesn't look too great, but if you start bringing this number down, it starts adding more and more resolution. Now, right now this is just a modifier, so if I click the real-time on and off, you'll see that it's not permanent yet until we apply this. But what you can see is happening is it's joining these together. It's joining these together in these voxel style polygons, and that's what we want. We want these to merge together into one object. So you can do it that way, or you can go into sculpt mode and hold down shift and R, and it brings up this grid. And as you move your mouse, you can see the size of the polygons. So if we were going to remesh it down, say down to 160, we would left click to accept, and then we'd hit Control R to remesh, and you can see that it remeshed it. This is a really low resolution, why it looks so pixelated. If you don't want all these different masks on here, which was from them being different objects, you can go up here to the remesh menu and you can uncheck these. So now when you remesh, it's all the same color. But you can see what it does. It joins it all together, and you can smooth it out where all of these different pieces attach to each other. So there's that way, and which was the Shift R to choose, and then the Control R to actually remesh. Or you can go up here to the remesh menu and you can manually put in your voxel size and then hit remesh right here. If you'd like to get a sample of what the voxel size is on the mesh right now, you can click this eyedropper tool and then hover over a piece of the geometry. And then when you open it back up, you can see that it would be 0.1548 meters, which is the actual voxel resolution on this one. So let's choose a, there's not much I'm gonna fix on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and go a little high and remesh it. And we can turn on X symmetry. You can see the little dot on the left side. That's like a copy of the brush that I'm using. So if I pull over here, it's gonna pull over there. Now in sculpt mode, there's not many brushes that I use. I use this grab brush. I shouldn't have done it there. I use this this draw sharp brush, which digs in. I use the clay strips brush, which is good for adding volume. I like to use the pinched brush, which is good for pinching together creases. And then also there's the crease brush that I use sometimes, which is kind of draw sharp mixed with the pinch brush at the same time. And there's also, if you scroll on down here, there's the mask brush, which is pretty useful. You can mask out a section, like say you're wanting to work around that and you don't want to affect this, so now I can move things around and it's not going to affect where I masked. You can also invert that mask and then only work inside of that spot that we masked out. But for now, oh, and then there's the smooth brush. It is, I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's right here. But the smooth brush is actually a part of every brush. If you hold down shift with any of the brushes, it becomes the smooth brush. And that's what we're going to be doing, is smoothing out. We're going to be smoothing out these connection points where these meshes were. You've got a strength slider up here and a radius slider. I usually keep my strength on pressure sensitivity. I'm using a pen tablet, but I usually keep my strength on pressure sensitivity so I can be lighter or not. And the radius I usually keep normal. Normally this size, I think it's F. Yeah, you can press F and then move left and right to change your radius. But I'm used to using Photoshop, so I just use the bracket keys. You press it up and press left and right bracket, and it makes it go up and down just like in Photoshop. Anyways, let's start smoothing this thing up. Hold down shift, and I'm actually going to get a smaller brush size. Bring it down a little bit. And I like to start by getting all the connection points first. Around the boobs.
Alright. Sorry, it's I'm trying to fix this microphone. Acting weird again. Happens often. I did say a long time ago I should probably get a new one. I just I've never done it, and also I don't know what's good. But I should probably look into it. It's 100% my phone though. I think it's kind of also doing it randomly. But it's weird because my phone's been really close to it for the entirety of the stream, and then for some reason it starts acting weird when it's near it. Yeah, I don't know the reason why it does that. Probably a bunch of reasons. Probably some like sound guy could probably tell me why. But I don't really care, so. So yeah, you showed a few ways to combine them: remesher, modifier, going into sculpt mode, and using the remesh up here. I actually didn't know you could remesh using Shift R. Was it Shift R? Wait, what? Was it Shift R? Or was it Control R? Hold on. Whoops. Whoops. I don't know, it doesn't show up. Oh, there we go. Oh. Oh, Control R is accept, but R is the... At least for me, it shows you the... Why is it so hard to see? Anyway. Okay, good. I'd have to apply this on Vision Surface first. So like I was saying, This reference, at least when it comes to the hands, the arms, maybe a little bit in the torso, isn't the best due to her baggy clothing. Which means if I want to find another one, I'd have to go looking again, which might take a while. I'm not exactly sure. How should I go about this? I do have my city opened up still, as I always do. I don't know exactly where I'm at. I usually save the one that I'm at, so I could go back here and, because this resets back to A every single time, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, what can you do? But I ended up having a few tabs open. I don't remember which one was the last one. I guess I could probably check. Also, I didn't realize I had my windows open. Let me close that. But yeah. How should I go about this? I feel like I've spent a lot of time doing a whole lot of nothing this stream, if I'm being quite honest. Which is why I'm a little bit hesitant on spending more time looking at references, because that feels like doing a whole lot more nothing. But then again, I don't want to work on things right now. I don't want to work on the hair, because A, hairs are hard, and B, that one video that I watched earlier, the one with the really good time lapse, I like the way they did their hair, and I kind of want to look into their channel a bit more to see if maybe they have more time lapses and to see how they do their hair some more. And I can't do the body stuff because, like I said, I feel like I need a better reference. One has a lot less baggier clothing. And maybe less dynamic hand positions. But I don't want to go through all that on stream because it's very boring. Not that people are coming to see something exciting on a Blender stream. It's literally art. Art's very, I don't want to say boring, but it's very tedious sometimes. In terms of the work you need to put in. It could be very repetitive. I think. Although I haven't watched that much art. Oh well, to be fair though, that does take... I don't know. I start rambling. So part of me... wants to end stream to look at all those stuff that I just mentioned. But the problem is, I don't want to work on Regulus off stream. Just because I think, I just want to show the progress out, and I don't really want to not show any progress that I make. So if I do find something that I like, a reference, it's not like I can start working on it. So it's difficult. It's a mind balance. And then again, this stream was pretty bad. No, I mean, it's not that bad, but you know what I mean. Not much progress is made. I played around with shaders and watched videos. But yeah. Alright, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it early because I'm going to spend the next couple of hours looking for references and watching more of that guy's videos to see if he could teach me how to make hair that I like. I like the way his hair looks, so I might want to adopt his methods of making hair. And I don't want to bore you or tag you along with that. If I find anything, any references, obviously you will see that tomorrow. If I try to make the hair in any sort of way, you will also see that tomorrow. So yeah, you're not really gonna miss out all that much. I'm basically time lapsing right now, or doing a time skip. So yeah. So yeah, just to recap before I go, hopefully tomorrow, I'll know more about what to do in the game jam portion. So I'll have more to work on, hopefully. I think as the closer we get to the deadline, the more work I will have. Because hopefully by then we would have solidified a sort of idea, and I'll just be having to fill out that idea with art. So yeah. We'll see how busy that gets. And like I said, if all else fails, I have Regulus in the back as my own personal project to work on whenever I don't have anything or am unclear about what to work on when it comes to the game jam. So yeah. We'll know more tomorrow. So yeah. Thank you for sticking around. If you did, ow, oh god. Sorry, one of my muscles felt weird. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. I feel like maybe I should link the videos that I watch, like paste them in chat, just in case anyone wants them. I try to show the title, but then again, there's some like Japanese characters that I end up watching sometimes. They just pop up, and I feel like that might be harder to find. We'll see though. But yeah, have a good day, and I'll catch you tomorrow, most likely. Yeah. See ya, bye. Bye.